What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Salt and Pauper video, and today we're going to take a look at one of my absolute favorite decks that I've been playing lately, 4-color Gates. Now, I have been a big fan of Gates ever since they were released in Commander Legends Baldur's Gate. I think that more decks should be running Gates than currently are. I'm actually currently testing Gates in a Black-White Pestilence as well as the Black-White Ephemerate list, since you can run exactly the same number of tap lands but get Gates, which is an incredibly powerful synergy added to the deck at very little opportunity cost. So we can take a look at that later. If you guys are interested, let me know in the comments below. But let's go ahead and dive into the deck tech, and then we'll get to some games so you guys can see it in action. Okay, first things first, we're going to take a look at the land package. Now, obviously, the deck is called 4-color Gates. It has a lot of gates in it. You are starting with a full 4 of Basilisk Gate, which is a land that lets you tap it 2 mana, and target creature gets +X equal to the number of gates you control. Now, this card is absolutely a powerhouse in Pauper right now. And although you can activate it only as a sorcery, when combined with things like a couple of the creatures in this deck, you will see it can close games out incredibly quickly. But what gates do we run to complement it? Well, we've got a full 4 Citadel Gate, which is the white choose a color other than white gate. We have a full 4 Cliff Gates, which is the red choose a color other than red gate. We have a full 4 Manor Gates, which is the green choose a color, and then we have a single Heap Gate. Now, Heap Gate is a colorless land. It also filters, but it also allows you to tap an untapped gate, and 1 mana to create a treasure token. This is a really cool ability to really just give you some incremental value as the game goes on, and allow you to be really explosive in the later games and have access to more mana than you probably should. To complement that, we have a full 4 of Relic of Progenitus in the main board. This is really determined to shut down those long, grindy control decks very quickly. Things like Tron, things like Cycle Storm. This is also here to help combat the early aggressive starts of Turbo Terror lists and things along those lines. It's really going to slow the pace of the game down if your opponent is using their graveyard for value. And you'll notice that you are not using your graveyard for value, so popping to exile both is not going to hurt you here. Next up, we have 3 Ephemerates. This is going to combo with a lot of the ETB effects in this deck. There are quite a few value enter the battlefield abilities in this deck. We're going to take a look through them, but this is here really to cash in and add some incremental value, as well as double up on those life gain triggers that we're going to see later. And that's going to be really important in the red matchup, as well as to save some things from Affinity, Galv Blast, Cast Down, Snuff Outs, things like that. Next up, we have one of our main gate targets. This is Sacred Cat. This is easily the best card to target with Citadel or with Basilisk Gate. It's a 1/1 lifelink 4/1 with Embalm, which allows you to exile it to cast a copy that is essentially another version of it for 1 more mana out of the graveyard. So you get 2 cats in 1 body. We're running a full 4 of those. Flame Slash, we have a couple of those. There's 2. And this is 4 damage to any creature for 1 mana. Really efficient. Good removal right now. Hits a lot of the main threats. Mainly going to be targeting Mer Enforcers, things like that here. Abundant Growth, this is just a 1 of, but it enters the battlefield, you draw a card, and it makes your land tap for any color. This is just another early enabler so that you don't have color troubles early. A Singleton, Open the Gates. This allows you to search for a basic land or gate card, put it in your hand, and then shuffle for 1 green. Mainly going to be targeting Basilisk Gate with this, but occasionally, if you've already got a couple or you really need a specific color, you can find any of the gates that you need here. This is sort of like a Sylvan Scrying in that it puts it in your hand, not in the battlefield, so keep that in mind when playing or planning out your turn. We have 3 Dawnbringer Clerics. This is the beginning of our life gain package, aside from Sacred Cat. So we have A 1/3 for 2 enters the battlefield. When it does, you choose one. You can gain 4 life, destroy an enchantment, or exile a target card from a graveyard. So you've got more incremental graveyard hate here that you can instant speed with that ephemerate. You can also destroy some enchantments, so this has built-in Boggles hate. And then you can gain life, which is really good against red, and it's a 1/3, so it blocks very well. This is really like the total package. This card's incredible. Next up, we have 4 Journey to Nowhere. This is the premium removal of the deck. Not much to say here. Enchantment, exiles a creature. When it dies, they get the creature back. Very, very powerful card. Core Skyfisher is another 4 of here. Really, really solid tempo flyer. 2-drop for a 2/3 flying. And when it enters the battlefield, you return a permanent you control to its owner's hand. You can bounce Journey to Nowhere, so you're able to use it really early to get rid of a cheap aggressive threat, and then later you can bounce it to rebuy the Journey once you need to retarget on something else. Also allows you to pick up cards that you can then replay for more ETB effects, so really layering on that enters the battlefield synergy here, as well as giving you a flying threat to pump with your gates to get in those really huge swings later in the game once you've stabilized. Next up, we have a single Smash to Dust. This is one of my picks for one of the best cards or best red card out of Dominaria United. It's just super versatile. It destroys an artifact, it destroys a creature with Defender, and it deals 1 damage to each creature your opponent controls for 2. Lots and lots of choices here. Almost all of them are going to be relevant most of the time. And it's quite good against red, just to have a singleton in the main board as a backup plan. Next up, we have Gatecreeper Vine. This is a 3 of. It's a 0/2 that allows you to search your library for a basic land or a gate, reveal it, and put it in your hand. Again, really just going to be searching for Basilisk Gate, the best card or the best land in the deck. Really want to make sure that you're landing those so that you have access to them every game. It's also a 0/2, so although it doesn't block super well, it is something to put in front of the Mono Red Menace and blocks 1/1 tokens pretty much all day. Next, we have Inspiring Overseer. This is a 3 of. It's another flying threat to combo with the gate package, but this one enters the battlefield, gains a life, draws a card. So this is the primary card draw in the deck. You can also combo it with Ephemerate for more cards. This also has a little bit of life gain attached to it. It's a flying threat. It really isn't great at any of the things that it does, but because it does so many things for the deck, it really earns its spot here. Next up, we have Armadillo Cloak. This is a 2 of. Gives +2/+2 and Trample. Trample is really, really important when using the gates because it only gives +X/+X, so it is chump blockable. And Trample really kind of pushes that power spike over the top when you catch your opponent off guard with it. It also allows you to gain life when the creature deals damage. Technically, excuse me. Technically, you can put this on an opponent's creature if you are absolutely dire and need it, but most of the time you're going to be putting this on like your Guardian of the Guild Pact, your Ceruli Gatekeepers, your Core Skyfishers to push some early damage or to combo with a gate activation to get in for a huge amount of damage later in the game. Next up is that Guardian of the Guild Pact I was talking about. This is your 2/3 for 4 protection or monocolored. This is a huge finisher in the format right now. Not a whole lot of decks have a plan against this card. And in general, once you pump it with a gate, it's going to close games out really, really fast. And then lastly, we have Ceruli Gatekeepers. This is kind of the linchpin that makes the deck work. It's a 3 of in the main board, but you do have a 4th out of the side. We'll take a look at that in a second. And when it enters the battlefield, if you control 2 or more gates, you gain 7 life, and it's a 2/4. So this is a huge life swing on a good blocker. It's got a big butt, so it's going to stick around even after blocks, which allows you to gate it up and swing back. It's very ephemeratable, it's very pick-upable, and put back down with Core Skyfisher, so you can keep triggering that life gain. And this is really what's going to set you over the top against red. It's a great backup plan against aggro, and ultimately, this is the card that makes the deck tick. Really important that we land 1 or 2 of these if we want to stay alive. Next, we'll take a quick look at the sideboard. We've got Crimson Acolytes. We have 2 of them. This is the backup plan against red. It also allows you to give your Sacred Cat red immunity, which is really important against things like Makeshift Munitions or Lava Dart, which are hugely efficient threats against Sacred Cat. And since that is one of your biggest sources of life gain, as well as protecting Inspiring Overseer, which is a 2/1, It's going to do a lot of work here. We only have 2 because the deck's pretty well tooled against red in the first place, but we do want a little bit of extra hate to bring in. Next, we have 2 Destroy Evils. This was my pick for the best white card out of DMU, so we're actually just jamming a bunch of them in here. This allows you to destroy target creature with toughness 4 or greater, or destroy an enchantment. More Boggle support here. This also has some application against the Prowess deck. Definitely against Gurmag Anglers and Terrors, things like that. It can be pretty efficient to get rid of. So there's a 2 of in the sideboard here. This is going to be another premium removal option, but since it doesn't hit everything, we really only want to bring it in when it's going to be good. Next, we have 2 Dust to Dust. This is just an affinity hate staple. You can't really play white without playing this card, so it was really important to have a couple in the sideboard so that we can reuse them against affinity. Single Arms of Hadar. This is the best board wipe we have access to, quite frankly. This is the thing that makes the deck 4-color gates instead of Naya gates. There's only 1 here, and really the deck could probably use a little bit more of them. Looking at potentially in the future changing out this second Smash to Dust in the sideboard for a second Arms of Hadar. Really a big fan of this card, more so than Arms of Hadar. Or really a fan of this card more so than Smash to Dust, but I do like the versatility that Singleton Smash to Dust brings in the main board, so maybe we have room to put a second one in the board, but we will take a look at that maybe in the future. If you guys want to see a full league with this deck, we'll start doing a little bit of tinkering. Next up, we have a whole bunch of blue hate. We've got 4 Red Elemental Blasts, 1 Pyroblast. Really, this is just 5 blasts. Whatever you have, obviously, there's some budget concerns here. Pyroblast is pretty expensive on MTGO. Red Blast is pretty cheap, so I have 4 and 1. You can have 4 and 1. You can have 3 and 2. It really doesn't matter. Just play what you have. They all do pretty much the same thing, and since there's no prowess or needs to target without resolving, the difference between the 2 really isn't a big deal for this application. Next up, we have that Singleton Smash to Dust out of the sideboard. This is to double up with the one that's already in the board, but again, like I said, really looking for maybe a spot for a second Arms of Hadar in this area. We'll see how it performs in the games. And then we have that 4th Ceruli Gatekeeper. This is so we can bring this in against red, but we don't need it in every matchup, so we have 3 in the main, 1 in the side, just so that we can bring it in when we need it. And then lastly, we have a single Nihil Spellbomb. Now, this may seem like a strange choice when we have 4 relics already. But keep in mind, Nihil Spellbomb doesn't require mana to activate. Relic of Progenitus does. So in the really important, early matchups when we're trying to play tap lands and your opponent is threatening a combo such as Cycle Storm or maybe Altertron, you really want a no mana sync activation threat here. This just gives us a little bit of more chance to hit our sideboard tech against those decks where we really need it. Ultimately, this deck's biggest weakness is combo. It doesn't have instant speed interaction. So we really want to be aware of that weakness, and we're really catering to it with this card from the sideboard. Now, that being said, I found this deck. The latest challenge, it took second, piloted by Alvatar, and the deck performs really, really well in the meta right now. I know a lot of Gates decks are actually performing really well. Kagate is on a bit of a return, but let's jump into the games, guys. Get you guys a first-hand look at how this deck operates, and let me know what you guys think down below. If you're excited for these games, guys, and if you want to see me run a full league with this deck, let me know in the comments down below, and make sure you hit that subscribe button while you're here. I really do appreciate you guys. Thank you so much, guys, for all the love and support. Let's go ahead and jump into the games. All right, guys, jumping into game number 1 against KTO. This is a pretty slow hand against an unknown opponent. we could definitely do better, but we could also do worse. We've got a removal. We have a gatekeeper for some life gain. We can get a Basilisk Gate. The deck's pretty draw dependent, so this may be incorrect, but I think we can go ahead and keep here. Forest into a young wolf. Okay, top deck an Ephemerate here. We can probably just lead on this Manor Gate, and we'll go ahead and name white. We're in our main deck configuration, so we don't have any black in the deck to worry about, and we have all three colors here. Red is a splash, so we don't need any more than a single red most of the time. Yeah, this seems fine so far. Drawing the Ephemerate helps here because we'll be able to combo that with Gatekeepers. We'll go ahead and pass through the turn here. So this is black-green Sacrifice with a Putrid Leech. Okay. Top deck a Relic of Progenitus is actually pretty big against this wolf. But we don't have much to do here. We're definitely going to take damage from this Putrid Leech and go probably to 14 next turn, but I think that's okay. Let's go ahead and lead with this. We'll go ahead and pick green here. Let's add a green, cast and open the gates. We're going to get a Basilisk Gate now. And we'll go ahead and pass back. We'll pass priority here. Snakeskin Veil. Okay. Sure. Yeah. Go ahead and bump. We're going to take 6 here. Go to 13. Sure. Top deck another Ephemerate. Okay, so we're certainly going to have stuff to do when we get there. This Relic is going to be able to deal with this young wolf pretty quickly. So let's just play our red land here. Let's add white so we have all white sources. We're going to go ahead and go green, white, and cast this Journey to Nowhere on this Putrid Leech. Just remove the huge damage threat for right now. Hopefully he doesn't have like a Village Rites. I think that's the big thing that we're playing around here because he doesn't have mana for Deadly. It resolves. That's good. Pass the turn back. Yep, we'll go ahead and take 2 here. Another Putrid Leech. Okay. Manor Gate. So, can we afford to take 6 more here and go to 5? Because then we'll have Gatekeepers with Ephemerate backup. I don't see a reason why not. One of the biggest things that could get us in trouble is if we run this Gatekeepers out and it gets like snuff outed while we're tapped out and we don't draw another creature. So let's go ahead and play this Manor Gate. Let's get another red source. Let's play out this Relic here. And we can just go ahead and pass the turn. We're going to take another 6, go to 5 here. Let's pass till end step. Yep. And phase 2 goes for Jewel Thief. Okay. that's fine. And we'll go ahead and have him exile a card. That way we're ready for this Young Wolf to exile. And we can go ahead and pass to my turn. A Guardian. Okay, well... go ahead and run out this Gatekeepers, go to 12. Keep this Ephemerate up. And let's go ahead and pass. Okay, so we're in a pretty good place to stabilize here. He's gonna have to do something to get rid of this. Exiling to make a zombie. I can actually whiff this, right? So let's go ahead and actually do that. I don't think we're gonna do this Young Wolf play here. We're just gonna deny this zombie token ultimately. And then next turn we can tap it to exile it. Cast down on the Gatekeeper. Alright, let's hope he doesn't have another cast down here. If he has a second cast down, we're kind of hosed. Alright, good. Good. And he scoops it up. Nice. So you can definitely see the stabilization power of this deck. We're going to follow that up with a Basilisk Gate, Guardian of the Guild Pact. Really had a lot of options here. He's in Sacrifice, so... he seemed more in, like, the aggro area. I didn't see a whole lot of targets for this Smash to Dust, so... I think we're going to bring in this Arms of Hadar here. He's definitely on a bit of an aggro list. I think we're pretty well tooled against that, though. I suppose we could bring in these Destroy Evils, because they're going to target Putrid Leech. I don't see a huge reason to keep all these relics in either, so we could probably just do something like this. Okay, let's run it like that. I did not realize the main deck of this card has 61 cards in it. On the draw here, double Heapgate is rough, but means we can start making treasures. We've got all our colors. White, green, we can make a red and a black. We only have one black card in though, so we might not even need it. We'll just use these Heapgates to filter. We have a Guardian, Inspiring Overseer. This is probably a keep. It is pretty slow, though. We need to be aware of that so that we can... but the journey should help us out a bit. Land Worlds. Okay. That's a pretty powerful start from the opponent. Alright, Ephemerate is not what we're looking for, but it's not going to be bad with the Inspiring Overseer. We get a free block out of it. Let's go ahead and got this. We'll make this green-white, I think. And pass it up. And then I think the plan is to make this Citadel Gate red-white, and then the Heap Gates will make black for us. And we just won't worry about naming black on a gate. Got an all-white hand, so we really want to prioritize making white mana here. Bayou Croft. Okay. I mean, that walks right into Journey here, which is great for us. This buys us a lot of time. This buys us a lot of time. So, yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Because once he gets Snakeskin Veil out, we're going to be in a world of trouble with this Journey, so... Okay, he just scoops it up. Sometimes that happens. Let's go ahead and jump into game number 2. Alright, game number 2 against Rabid Squirrel Man. We won the dice roll. We're going to be on the play. Let's take a look at what we got. Relic, Journey, Ephemerate, and 4 gates. That's really not where we want to be. We definitely need to keep at least 1 creature, so let's go ahead and mulligan this. Ooh, that's a rough mulligan. Unfortunately, we just can't keep this, so try again. Okay, this is way better. We're going to keep this. We're going down to 5, which is unfortunate. I think we want to do... Is it better to put back the Heap Gate or the Forest? This is going to make green white, right? So probably best to put back the Forest. That way if we top deck a red card, we have Heap Gate. So yeah, let's do it like that. We're going to lead on this Manor Gate, making green white, pass it up. We do get to lead on Sacred Cat, which does buy us some time even against red. This looks to be Blue Delver. Okay. If it's ninjas... Okay. Well, that helps. Because this lets us just go... Make a red. Flame Slash. And we can pass it back. Really going to be very much trying to hit lands here. We can still lead out this Skyfisher, which isn't too bad, but hopefully we don't run into like a snap or something. That would be unfortunate. Really wanted to get rid of that Delver just so we didn't get into trouble with like ninjas and him really starting the tempo game plan. Another Delver. Okay. I mean, I guess we just go with the Journey here. If he is a Turbo Terror deck, he's not playing very many of them. Or he hasn't played very many spells yet, so that's still a pretty long way off. Let's pass it back. Missing a land drop here hurts, but hopefully our opponent doesn't have much else to follow this double Delver. Yeah, okay. Well, he's probably a Terror deck, so that's unfortunate. I mean, I had to assume he was a Terror deck, but I was hoping he would have maybe a slower start. That's still only 3 instants or sorceries, though, and he didn't have a Brainstorm to combo with it, so we're probably doing okay. Plays a land past his turn. Okay, cool. Another heap gate. That's actually big. That means we can... I mean, he's representing a counter spell here, so maybe we just run this heap gate out and we'll... Let's go ahead and just pass. And then we'll set an end on his turn here. Yield until... And then we'll go ahead and make a treasure at the end of the turn, just so we have extra land here. Cool. Wants to brainstorm in response, that's fine. Oh, it takes a really long time to resolve that brainstorm. We're going, oh, consider here? Okay. Another Thought Scour. Okay. Angelic Overseer. Okay, so... Opponent showed us a Force Spike, but we do have a treasure token active. He tapped down past counterspell, so I guess this is when we run out the Overseer. If he tries to, like, snap it or something, we have Ephemerate off this treasure token. Got Basilisk Gate off the hit. Nice. Okay. Let's play the Basilisk Gate. And let's pass it. Okay. Plays a land, plays a Delver. Okay. Plays a Spire Golem. Okay. Three mana open. I don't really want to tap into Basilisk Gate and then get him to, like, snap my Overseer in response, so... I think it's probably best to commit to the board. How best do we want to do that? I mean, I guess we can run out this Sacred Cat here. This is going to put a lot of pressure on him if he doesn't have a creature removal. Okay, good. Really want to land this Skyfisher, but I feel like he's holding a counter spell. So if he does have a counter spell, we want to get through that, so... Let's go ahead and play into this counter spell. We got to get it out of the hand eventually. Yeah, okay. That's fine. Release is not going to have it for the Ephemerate. And we'll go ahead and pass the turn. Let's see if he flips his Delver. Flipping the Delver would be unfortunate, but it is what it is. Okay, he does flip his Delver. I mean, I suppose we just go for the trade on the attack here, right? If he attacks with Delver, we just block. Yeah. I mean, that's fine. Okay, we take the trade. Summoning Sacred Cat's going to be really important in this matchup because he only has like a few things to deal with it, so. Okay, that's a good draw. We're able to make another white mana. I guess now is probably the best time to go into Basilisk Gate plan. Snap. Oh, Echoing Truth. Okay, that's fine. Echoing Truth it is. And then we'll just go ahead and run out the Sacred Cat again. 2, 3, 4. Is he casting a foil? He is casting a foil. Okay. I mean, let's go ahead and crack white. No cards in hand for the opponent. I'm gonna go ahead and embalm that. The opponent says he thought that was my instep. I don't think he meant to, I don't know how that changes things. He bounced it in response to me pumping. Okay, Augur. 4. Counterspell. Okay. So we know what's in his hand. It's a counterspell. Sure. Skyfisher is next up. Okay. I mean, we're definitely going big here. 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a 6 damage swing. Going into combat. Get in there for 6. It's just taking it. Okay, great. He's gonna try to race a cat with a counterspell in hand. I mean, I guess we can just use these to get this counterspell out of his hand. I don't really want... Yeah, that's fine. We're gonna have to play through them eventually, and I'd rather land this Overseer, I think. But we need to draw another land. And he's really trying to race me with a 2/4 flyer, huh? Okay. 1 card in hand. We don't know what it is, but I think we're in a pretty good position overall. Let's go ahead and make red with this one, I guess. And then we need 3 gates to make treasure, so it doesn't matter. Let's hold the colored mana open just to make the opponent think. And let's get in there with a 7/7 this time. Opponent is really losing the race here. Sure. Are you gonna bounce it so I don't gain the life? No, it's fine. No, I can eat your Augur all day. Just passing it up. Opponent on 2 cards now. Waiting for a Terror to come down at some point. Delver, don't care. We don't care about anything that doesn't threaten this Sacred Cat. And now we have Pump the Sacred Cat plus follow it up with Inspiring Overseer. So we're in a pretty good spot. And the Inspiring Overseer is the draw card, so I think that's the most important thing to land. This is perfect. Let's go ahead and make it white. I suppose we could have made it red. Now let's go tap. Make this an 8/8. And let's get him in there. He's gonna chump block. Sure. One card in hand from the opponent. On to 34. This is fine. I guess we can just run out the Overseer now. He's probably got another counter spell, but ultimately I think we're fine. Yep, okay. This is still going very well for us. Opponent still on 0 cards. Has to keep top decking creatures or he can't be on attacking duty anymore, which shuts down all the ninjas that he could draw. And he scoops up. Okay. Alright, that was a good example of the stabilizing power of Sacred Cat. Let's see. What do we have here? I mean, we have a whole lot of Elemental Blasts for this matchup, but do we need them? I mean, this is kind of what they're here for, right? This is mono blue. Oh, okay, he's just gonna scoop it up. He must have looked at his sideboard and realized he had nothing for this matchup. Alright, guys, well, that was the deck. 2 very quick games. Opponents scooped it up a couple of times. You can definitely see how this deck just feels like it has everything all the time. If you would like to see a full league of this deck, I would love to play it for you. Let me know down in the comments, and let me know if you have any suggestions. Have you played the deck? How does it look to you? Really think this deck kind of does it all right now. So let me know what you thought. As usual, guys, thank you so much for watching. Goodbye forever, unless I see you next time. Peace.